Golden wind. When contrasting it with the boss, this newfound Requiem ability that it garners is the ability to return actions and willpower to a state of 0. So when the boss cuts out a snippet of time and prepares to destroy Giorno in that moment, all of that is immediately reverted to 0, and his ability actually does nothing. But it's more than that, because the boss's ability is a fate-changing power, and
it doesn't change fate.
It changed his fate.
It doesn't even change his fate.
It alters it slightly.
Yes, it alters it. Because now that's the fate.
We've never seen him look 10 seconds into the future and see himself being beheaded and just going, oh, let's just change that. The one time where it's just like, I'm going to die now, it was just, oh, wait, whoop, I just misinterpreted that a little bit. Oh, there's a foot flying through the air? I guess that's my foot. Never was my foot. We've never seen him just going, this is my hard death. Let me try to change that. It's always been misinterpretations.
Due to him literally cheating fate his entire life, he has become so reliant.
When did he get his stand?
On the way he can just jump from fated destination to fated destination.
Wouldn't you also, if I can turn invisible, if I could teleport, I'm not taking a car drive to California. I'm teleporting there. Done.
And fate gave him this ability. So why is fate like, you can't use this ability?
Exactly.
No, that's against what I want. I'm giving it to you so you could just sit on it.
Why is he being punished for his ability, for using his ability to the best of his ability? Why is he being why is he just like, oh, he hopped all over to the resorts and stuff so he got arrogant and confident? Yeah! Anytime Gio needs to do anything, he's like, well, let's just turn this gun into a banana. Was he not also confident? Wait, why is he the only one that's like, this piece is doing all this with the resorts? It's dumb. It sucks.
So, by Giorno activating Golden Experience Requiem at this time, all he really did is nullify the boss's ability to change fate. In other words, the boss...
He nullifies everything. If Mista shot that bullet, he resets it back to 0. Bullets didn't shoot.
He can't control this.
He can't. We're not even talking about that. We're simply talking about the ability. He resets everything.
That's what I'm saying, though. He said that it erased the time that the boss tried to erase. But he doesn't control that. It just erased everything to 0. So it's not against the boss. It's against everything.
Was sealed. But then, when Golden Experience Requiem attacked him, he sort of trapped his consciousness into a never-ending cycle of death. Every time he was about to die, experiencing great pain and whatever, that would be reset to 0.
Why?
How? We're just on, this happened.
He just made his mind feel this for life. For eternity.
And it's just like, this is just what happened. Gio doesn't understand what happens. Dia just like, well, I guess this just happened. Us as the audience are just told that this happens.
What happened?
How is that satisfying?
And he would be in some different universe, in some different reality, in some different scenario, where he would be experiencing death once again, and so on and so forth for all eternity. The amount of times he's cheated fate and the amount of lives he's taken is all being repaid to him in this moment where his fate is more than sealed, and he's...
How many lives has he taken? Directly, indirectly, whatever. Can it not be said that the person who created the gun caused billions of people to die? He's the boss of this thing, so he's just going, do boss things, make me money.
Why didn't Green Day get a bunch of this?
I always say this is such an undeserved fate for Dia. Because in reality, we see him killing like 3 people.
Bruno.
Narancia.
And Narancia. Literally 3 people.
Other than that, what?
Because he didn't kill Metallica. That wasn't him.
And he has a moral compass because he's just like, ugh, Green Day and Oasis, those pieces of So he recognizes that.
They're depraved, just awful people.
So, again, what has he done? He sells drugs to children. He's the leader of an organization. We've seen him do almost nothing to warrant this, other than cheating fate. When fate gave him this ability, when he's just using his ability to the best of his ability. How is that fair?
All the lives he's taken, one at a time. With interest. So now, if I were to ask you, what is the theme of JoJo's Part 5? Well, honestly, it's a pretty beautiful story, even though it's JoJo's. Yes, amazing fights, bombastic characters, and the theme that you can change your fate. You can become something.
You can't.
No.
The 3 that were in Sleeping Slaves died.
And if you can change your fate, guess what happens? You get stuck in a death loop for all of eternity.
When fate comes back. Because you can't change it.
So can you change it and you're happy and fine? Or is it just Dia changed his fate, so now he's getting punished?
Oh, he didn't change it the right way. Because he didn't have the resolve. And
My goodness, this crumbles under any scrutiny.
Of yourselves, and you can become a light and a hope for the people around.
Oh my God, with this light hope crap again! Do you guys share scripts? Do y'all just share crap?
How is Gio a light and a hope for a Bacchio who hated him to his dying breath?
Who was just kind of like, oh, okay, Gio. You can be part of the gang. I still don't like you, though.
How
Was
he a light and shining hope for Fugo, who said, I'm not going?
How was he a light and a hope for Narancia, who went, wow, Trish got treated like I'm gonna protect her?
How was he a light and shining hope for Trish, who went, Narancia? Bruno said throw the turtle, which would lead to your death. Why did you do that? This is just in part 5. Can characters not have doubts in their mind? Can they not grow independently of a person? Again, Koichi grew completely independently of Josuke. All 3 of his acts grew outside of him. He had nothing to do with it except for going, yo, nice stand, coming in later. Lock, done. Yukako, he was just looking for him. Kira, he grew and then Josuke came up. He grew completely independently. Why are these characters so weak that they need a dude to just go, I am just a normal dude who got his stand a month ago. I'm gonna change everything in your life. And why are you guys accepting that this dude is changing everybody's everything?
There are 2 ways that people can change fate. There's the Giorno way, and there's the Diavolo way.
There is no way! It is fate! And again, hard work changing fate and giving the thing by fate to change fate! Why aren't either of these the correct or wrong way?
And it wasn't even hard work. He stabs himself and got an unbeatable power. He wasn't shown struggling to control it or anything. He wasn't like, I'm dying, but I gotta will myself back to life. He could have punched himself like Golden Experience punched me, imbue me with life. Something, anything, but he just stabbed himself. Deal with, you suck, you about to die now, punk. And then he just got an unbeatable stand. What is the Giorno way? Get handed something to change fate? Or the Dia way? Get handed something to change fate? Which is the right way?
The Giorno way is making something of yourself, relying in your friends, and nothing is set in stone. You have to.
Dia did the same thing. He relied on the people under him. He had a way to change his fate. What are you talking about?
to be that golden experience, constantly looking forward, constantly looking upward, and grabbing the world by the balls.
Bad touch, stranger danger.
You can change your fate. That's why even the
No, you can't.
No.
The 3 people that died.
They died. They were fated to die, and they died. This breaks down, unless you're gonna recontextualize it. In Sleeping Slaves, those 3 people were fated to die. They turned to the camera and said, "These 3 people will die," and those 3 people did what? They died. How is that changing fate? They died in a very gruesome way, as a matter of fact.
If any other character that didn't die was added, that'd be
something.
I would say, you know what? You can change fate.
Put Mista in the Rolling Stones, and that changes a lot. But he's not. Those 3 people fated to die, and they did. But you can change fate.
Giorno is by no means my favorite character in Part 5. Not even close. Mista takes that by a mile, and you'll soon see why. Giorno is the light side of the Force in regards to how you can change your fate, with willpower and by being a gang star. But now, there's the gangster side of the series. There's Diavolo. He was also able to change his fate. However, he didn't change fate because he is an exceptionally good person or just individual.
Why do you need to be good or just for fate to go? Fate is a middleman. Fate is looking straight ahead like, you're doing the stuff that I want to do. You're not doing the stuff I want you to do. I'm going to punish you.
They've already said fate is a nebulous concept. Why are you giving fate personality and traits and all these things?
Fate doesn't care about what's good or not.
Rewarding people for being righteous and just.
Fate don't care. Fate is fate. Fate is.
In fact, quite the opposite. Not only does his character design have mold in his hair, as well as for some reason he's wearing like a dominatrix outfit. I'm not exactly sure what the mindset was there, but that's irrelevant because he changed fate through cheating. A stand ability is not something you can choose, even though it does represent who you are. It is something given to you, and therefore, it's not that with his own bare hands, he broke fate and crafted himself a new one.
He did. He broke it through what he is, which is his stand. Your stand is just a representation of who you are. So if he's doing it by his hand, King Crimson, he is changing fate by his hand.
How did Popo die? He was shot by a banana changed by Giorno and his stand. What did that lead to? Them getting the money, him becoming a capo, him going up through the ranks, him getting Trish, which led to the boss. Fate was changed by Giorno's stand. Something that he could not control, something that he was just given. How is this different?
Mista changed the fate of 3 people by his stand. His stand broke a stand that changed fate for 2 more people. What are we doing here?
Why is this different? It's just, I'm looking at this in the way that I need to look at this in order for it to make sense thematically. When it's the same or it's just so completely different that it's just out the rails.
Saying that nothing is set in stone, but I will grow. No. For whatever reason, his fate-changing ability was given to him on a silver platter, just like so many people in this world think, hey, I'm
just like Gio was handed it. What would have changed if he found the arrow in the Littlefoot fight? If he was just like, we're sitting back here, he opens the package, hey, it's the arrow, stabs himself, and now he's got GER. What changes? Other than him just walking up to the boss and doing it. Why does it have to be he got the resolve to get to this point, to get the arrow? He was handed it as well.
Really better than everyone else because of these 4 million reasons. And therefore, suck it, world. I'm not only doing what I want, but you are going to be following me down that path. For I am either born being super smart or super rich. And I'm gonna be a—
Like Giorno? Like Fugo? Like Jotaro, who as a child could beat a grown man?
No.
What is he talking about? Fugo has a confirmed IQ of 140. Gio, as a child, could read people. Jonathan was born rich, but he was a great person. Why does being born rich or smart or having abilities equal sign fate is not on your side? Breaks down with scrutiny because, like he said, this is a nebulous concept.
He said metaphysical. I said nebulous.
Metaphysical.
It's the
I think he
same.
said something along the lines that it is unknowable or something like that.
There are no rules to fate.
Nothing.
About it. He's changing fate without needing to go through the prerequisite steps.
What prerequisite?
Oh my goodness.
Dude, this is
Oh
the
my
same video.
What prerequisites?
What steps were laid out to where you need to do this for fate to change in the right way?
Did Giorno know that? Did Dia just go, I know that I need to be righteous and just to change fate, but I'm not gonna do it? No, he was given an unbeatable stand and he used it. Why? What path is laid out where you go, this is how fate will favor me? Nobody knows that. So they're just going throughout their life. So you're going, Dia did it the wrong way. No, Dia did it a way and it happened to be the wrong way.
It's not even the wrong way. It's just a way.
It's just a way that you deem to be wrong.
To go through the prerequisite steps that Giorno does. That spoiled him big time, and when that fate-shifting ability, i.e. whatever he was given that made him this spoiled brat, was taken away and was reset to 0 by Golden Requiem, he was nothing but a dude who's gonna live eternally reliving epic failure after epic failure again and again. Cheating and cutting corners to get somewhere, even though during the time being, yes, you're literally changing fate. Wow, how cool. It will bite you in the ass so hard when you get there. And that is...
Why?
Why? If these people are trying to change fate with their actions, why is Dia being punished? Because he's doing it in the moment? Because he's doing it flippantly, willingly? Because he's doing it because he's evil? Because he's doing it the wrong way?
Because he's doing it because of something he was just given.
He's trying to protect himself. Why is that so wrong? This dude is going to shoot me. I don't want to be shot. I have the ability to not be shot. Oh, fate. I'm fate. And you didn't know. You were supposed to get shot.
How is the gang righteous when they're going around killing other people? Because they don't want drugs. They don't want not gangster stuff to happen. They just don't want drugs.
One of the commandments.
So beating the out of people for money, oh, we're still good with that. Stealing from people, we're still good with that. Murder, we're good with that. Just no drugs.
One of the 10 commandments is thou shalt not kill. If we're believing in fate, there must be some otherworldly presence that's governing this. Let's just say God. And let's just say God deemed thou shalt not kill. They're breaking that. So that's fine to break, but Dia breaking fate and them breaking fate the right way, that's something completely different.
Did fate just run to the other being and just go, he's changing me, this isn't fair. All right, fine. Or is it just nothing?
It's just nothing.
Thematic difference between how Giorno changed
Thematic difference. Jesus Christ. There is no difference.
It is a difference thematically. Doing it the right way versus just protecting yourself. Oh, how dare you protect yourself?
I don't know what to do.
and how Diavolo changes fate. And now, before moving on, I would like to briefly mention Risotto, because arguably the 3 most important characters in Part 5 are Diavolo, Giorno, and Risotto.
No, Bruno.
Or maybe Mista, who set into motion this entire thing.
Or maybe sleeping slaves, who added death to the fate of 2 more characters.
Or maybe Trish, who was the catalyst of them meeting the boss. If the boss was just like, okay, just do this drug run or go over to America and help me out, they wouldn't have been able to meet him face to face. Why are you using the manga version of Giorno here where this is not his color scheme?
Yes, I know. I could say Bruno and I could say Mista because, well, yes, they're both awesome and shiz. Okay. But Giorno is...
No, they're not just awesome. They're important to the story. They're very integral to the story.
Dude, we were so ready to just go, oh, dang. We were a little happy. And then you just went, cause them awesome.
Cause they awesome. Are you looking at this in a thematic sense? Or are you looking at this in cool?
The man that through his hard work and ambitions changed fate. Diavolo is a man who had to cheat to change fate and it eventually destroyed him.
He didn't cheat.
Goodness.
He was handed this.
He was handed an ability and now don't use this ability. How is that fair? When everybody else can use theirs righteously, he can't? How is that fair? That's some... Why is he being punished? How was he supposed to use his stand that he was just given? How? In a way that is righteous and just, that makes him not end up with him dying forever. Why is he wrong for using his stand? When Green Day kills 2 entire towns and he just gets punched a lot and thrown into the trash.
And
he was happy and healthy for years and years using his stand. Torturing people. Not even just using his stand, just torturing old people. He was happy and healthy doing that. But it was only Geo that punished him. Not any governing body that just goes, this dude is making old people kill themselves. This dude is recording sadistic stuff. Now we're going to punish him for some reason.
Actually destroyed him, and the Risotto is a man who could not change fate. He was not that beacon of hope and justice.
Beacons, hopes, justice. I'm gonna see why he's saying this. Dude, which video came first? Because did the other one just ape the context? Or is this what all part 5 fans think?
Yes. I've said this for so long. Why do you think I was ranting for so long? I would just see snippets on the Reddit of going, Giorno is a good character because of this. I'm going, and it's all just people agreeing and just adding and just recontextualizing.
But where's all this beacon light hope coming from? Is it just people thinking that way?
Yes.
How?
Because they want to.
Are y'all just writing y'all scripts based on Reddit? Based on what a handful of people on Reddit say? Giorno is a beacon. Wow, that's a great way to put it. Video.
It's very baffling.
I really don't like this. I'm starting to dislike his voice less as it goes on.
You get used to it.
Yes, that's probably what it is. I'm used to it. This video, however, is shite.
So, The Brilliance of Golden Wind was 3 months ago. This video was 5 months ago. If you take into account, like, him actually writing it, and because it's a pretty long video, you can say that he was probably inspired by this a little bit.
Yeah, probably.
That allied with his friends to become something greater, he was purely in it for the present and for himself. And because of that, fate could not change for him. So, as I've mentioned in the beginning of this video,
is he T-posing?
He's T-posing. He was T-posing. If he's not in it, didn't they go against the boss because of their friend dying? So how's he in it for himself? And if you need to sacrifice to change fate, you would probably need more people to do that.
I don't understand this point.
I'm super proud of this video, so leave a like and subscribe. But I also...
Okay, let's go back and hear his entire point right there.
How far?
Right here is good.
Friends to become something greater, he was purely in it for the present and for himself, and because of that, fate could not change for him. So, as I've mentioned in the beginning of this video, I am super proud of—
what way is he? And why does that make him important? Why does it make him number 3 important?
That's a good point. Why is he important? Because I guess because of thematically, you see how one person can change the fate. One person changed the fate the correct way, one person changing the fate the wrong way, and one person cannot change fate. Thematically.
So we just have to look at it thematically, and then we start.
That's why he's the third most important. Because of the theme of fate, one person changing it right, one person changing it wrong, one person doing the things that can't allow him to change it. Why was Dio allowed to change it if he's in it by himself? Why was Dio allowed all through his life to change fate if literally the whole thing was Nero? Where are you getting that you need to be righteous and have friends and not be in it for yourself to change fate the right way?
Is there a tipping point where fate goes, okay, you've changed fate too much, now I'm going to punish you? Is there a tipping point where fate goes, you've shown enough resolve and courage and you've done this the right way that I'm going to reward you?
Enough resolve. Oh yeah, you hit that 80 resolve. You got a billion resolve.
You've leveled up. You can now skill tree into gold experience Requiem.
Yeah.
Is there a point? Or is this just a nebulous concept that is unknowable? I think he said unknowable. I think
That might have been it.
this video, so leave a like and subscribe. But I also mentioned something else, that everything I told you until now definitely would help me consider JoJo's Part 5 a fantastic story. Like legit, JoJo's is one of my favorite anime, and this would have definitely been worthy of being called a JoJo's until this point. But then the final Rolling Stones arc showed up, a 2-episode arc after the final fight with Diavolo, and it changes my perspective, as well as all of our perspectives, on the entirety of the narrative.
Nope.
No, didn't change mine.
Not at all. Fate is unchangeable. This dude comes up and changes fate a lot, gets punished for changing fate. Then you go, oh, fate is unchangeable because these 3 people are fated to die, and such they died.
So why was he punished? Because technically he didn't change fate then, because that was his fate to do that thing. Or is it just that the good guy beat the bad guy? Is it simply that the good guy beat the bad guy?
And here's another thing. Rolling Stones. Bruno was about to die soon. He touches the stone, he dies peacefully. If you try to change that fate, something worse happens. Isn't that what happened with Dia? So how does that recontextualize it? If you try to change fate, something worse will happen unless you try to change it in the right way. But Mista was trying to change it in the right way. He was trying to save his friend because Rolling Stones went, he touches the stone, he dies, and Mista went, I don't want my friend to die, so I'm going to try to stop you. So he tried to change fate in the right way, but he was still punished. He wasn't punished. Other people were punished.
Instead of becoming a story about changing your fate, it's a story about how fate cannot be changed. A complete diametric opposite that, despite similar in some of the themes...
Pause. But Dia changed his fate.
Also, why are those two the 2 pillars now? If those 3 characters were about changing fate the right way, the wrong way, and you can't change fate or not changing it because you were doing it the wrong way. If you can't change fate, why are they still the 3 pillars of the story?
Rolling Stones is terrible.
Terrible. So what is the story about?
Can you change fate or can you not change fate?
You can't.
Because
Rolling Stones.
we have a dude who changes fate though, but he's just punished for it. But he literally changes fate. It's not like he was supposed to get punched or get shot, and then at the end you look at his body and he's all punched and shot up, and he's like, okay, all that fate is now resorting in this right now. So he was supposed to get shot, so now he's getting shot. He's riddled with holes because that's what was supposed to happen.
Bruh, that's why I said that's how that should have ended instead of this weird perpetual death thing. He goes back to the times he erased, and he gets hit by the things. It makes so much more sense. Reset to 0, so all your erased time is 0. So he's falling backwards through time and getting hit by all the things he was supposed to get hit by.
Makes a lot of sense.
Instead of just, I'm on an operating table, now I'm getting hit by a car.
It makes no sense other than he's just dying a lot because his consciousness is being reset to 0 because you were given the ability to reset things to 0. What does that have to do with life or fate?
Flips everything on its head, telling an entirely different story the whole way through. And this is what made the Rolling Stones arc in JoJo's Part 5 one of my 5 favorite endings in anime and one of my 5 favorite shonen arcs of all time. Now, being that I assumed you watched this series, you know, because I'm talking about the final arc, and I'm sure I'm gonna have some comments saying, oh my god, did this guy just literally spoil the ending of Part 5? And to that guy, hell yes I did.
You son of a bitch!
聞かなくてよかった。もし逃げていたならこの余地を見ずしてやり過ごしてしまうところだ。時は再び刻み始め。何？お前はもう死んでいる。Hamburger.
The Rolling Stones.
Wow.
That was an adventure that we went on.
Whoa.
Oh, that was from Japan to Egypt. That was.
Whoa.
Arc takes place before Giorno ever enters the group. And in a nutshell, because again, if you've seen the series, you know what happened here. Some florist dude goes to Bruno, says, yo, Bruno, help a brother out. My daughter allegedly commits suicide. I think it was murder. Check out her creepy boyfriend. His hair has a lot of really creepy colors. And as we know in JoJo's, everyone with creepy colored hair has a stand. Bruno's like, all right, old man, I don't really believe you, but we'll send Mista since he's clearly a brilliant choice for this detective job. Mista being the most brilliant character in anime. Light Yagami, Lelouch. Mista's where it's at. So Mista goes, roughs up boyfriend. And that's when we begin to learn about the stand, Rolling Stones. Believe it or not, the band Rolling Stones was actually named after this stand, which technically makes all of rock music today a JoJo reference.
Do you understand?
Alright, back on topic. The stand Rolling Stones defines the future of those around it and takes the shape of the people that will die. It then begins to hone in on this person that will die in order to touch that person, and when touched, that person will die a peaceful, happy death, as opposed to the suffering that would ensue, causing their fated, gruesome one. The stone took the shape of Bucciarati.
How did they know it's fated and gruesome?
Yeah, I don't understand that aspect of it. How do you know that?
And isn't jumping off of a building and dying, how is that peaceful? You know you're going to die, but there's still, at least, and even if you go instantaneous, there's still a 0.5 seconds where you just go, I am in an immense amount of pain. And then nothing. But that's not very peaceful. If it touches them and then it just instantly die, that's one thing. But you just showed the girlfriend jumping off of a building with a stone in her hand. So that's not very peaceful, especially...
and began chasing him. Eventually, to cut the long story short, Mista stopped the stone, jumped off a building with the stone, which normally would kill him, but since he knew the stone didn't take his shape, he was not fated to die then, and he did not die. He managed...
Pause. No. It's, like you said, a gruesome death. How is him jumping off of a building less gruesome than a girl jumping off of a building? If that was peaceful, that's a peaceful death, and as such, it probably should have happened.
You're right.
to land on a car, he got injured, and he somehow survived. The stone shattered and stopped chasing Bruno, but then took the shape of the 3 heads of the 3 characters in Bruno's gang that were to die in the near future over the course of Golden Wind. Their deaths were all predetermined by fate, and they were not able to escape them. Everything that the stone divined came to pass, be it Mista not dying, and be it Bruno Abacchio.
No, you can't say that.
People get lucky in JoJo's all the time. That means nothing.
It means nothing.
So this is what I wanted to bring up with this. Mista was originally supposed to investigate Luca's injury. But because of the Rolling Stones thing, Bruno had to do it. So by changing the fate right there, Mista changed all of fate, which allowed them to punish King Crimson. So why were they punished for that?
Why is Mista not a pillar of the story?
And why is Mista not punished? Because this is what fate is. There's no real rules to it except the rules of the show itself. It's not changeable. Fate determined that these 3 people are gonna die, so they're gonna die. If Bruno dies right there because of sleeping slaves, if he dies right there, Rolling Stones, if he dies right there, the story does not happen. Because Giorno had no plan. Mm-hmm. He had no way to get into the gang. He had no way to move up. This story right now does not happen without Bruno. So Mista doing the bad thing of changing fate right there in the incorrect way caused them to change it in the correct way in the future. Or is fate just bullshit? You see why fate doesn't really work?
It doesn't.
Do you see why?
Because you can just contextualize it into whatever you want, because it's a nebulous thing.
And that's
it's
what
an
happened.
unknowable thing. So you can just go fate whatever. And mold it into whatever you want.
And Narancia all dying. Fugo, who was also in close proximity to the stone, managed to survive as well, being that his face was not carved in the stone.
Why not?
Why not?
Why those 3? Why not Mista? When you say in close proximity of the stone, why not Mista? Because he was in close proximity of the stone. It's not you're going to die right now. Anyone. It's not that you're going to die right now. It's that you're going to die soon. So it doesn't matter if he jumped off the building and survived right there. The stone can still go, oh, but you're going to die in a week, though. Why not him? Why not Fugo? Why still Bruno? Why not Gio?
Why not none of them?
Why not nobody?
Why not a bunch of people we don't know?
That would have been awesome if it was just some dude in there as well. It was like, well, this is just fate. Here's 5 people that are going to die. Who's that person? Or maybe have somebody in the next part. Hermes, weather report. And then you see them and go, oh, fate over there.
Yeah, they're supposed to die.
Have Jolene and just go, she's going to die sometime in this part. And just have that hanging over your head. Or can Jotaro. She change the fate? Have Jotaro!
No.
That would have been awesome! That would have been amazing! Have Polnareff!
Yeah,
he's not dead. He's a turtle, but he did kind of die. Have Polnareff! Get in there!
Have Silver Chariot.
There's a lot more that could have been done with that. Because Polnareff died after Abacchio. And before... he died... Did he die... No, he died in the middle between Abacchio and
Narancia.
Mm-hmm. So why was he not there? Was he not important to it? Was the stone targeting only people that were important to Mista? People in close proximity? Why not Fugo? Why not Gio, who was fated to be in the gang? Because fate is unchangeable, so these 3 people are going to die in the mission The mission that Geo joins, why was he not in the storm? The mission that Polnareff joins, why was he not in the storm? The mission that the boss dies in, why was he not in the storm?
Sculptor dude who owned the stone, well, Mista put 3 bullets in his pistol and started firing at Sculptor dude in a way of threatening him to tell him exactly what his stand could do. Now, since the stand did not sculpt Sculptor dude, he was fated to survive this encounter. So, Mista fired once, twice, and 3 times, all of which hitting the empty spaces in the gun, so he knew that the next shot would be a bullet. And then when he fired again, it jammed. Being that Sculptor dude was not fated to die at that point, no matter what Mista did, he wouldn't be able to kill him. Another thing
No,
interesting.
I don't think so. If he pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the eye, that would have killed him. He just couldn't kill him with the gun right there. Are you telling me that if he pulled out a knife and stabbed him in the brain, the knife would just bend in on itself? Because that's literal magic.
Isn't it said that only stands can affect stands? And wouldn't that be Mista's stand? So Rolling Stones is stopping his stand from killing the user. So if he just pulled out a knife.
Well, the gun isn't even his stand. The 6 pistols are his stand. That's just a gun and some bullets. So fate is changing things. Fate, the stand is.
Fate the fate.
This makes no sense.
About this 4th time he's fired, Mista is notorious because he very much believes in good and bad luck, and the number 4 is an unlucky number for him. In fact, if you look at his stands, which is 6 pistol guiding cretins, they're numbered 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and 7, skipping the number 4. And number 5 is always being picked on. Well, that was really supposed to be the number 4, but he was moved up. What's even more than that, Mista's luck, despite seeming terrible at first glance in every occasion, because no matter who he fights, his bullets end up hitting himself at some point or another. It always ends up working out for his favor because the actions that Mista takes.
Pause. Can that not be said for everybody? There's no fight that somebody dies in. Abakio was ambushed. Nanacha was ambushed. Bruno was ambushed. They weren't everything. All their fights worked out for them because they survived. Man in the Mirror worked out perfectly. Littlefoot worked out perfectly. It's not just Mista.
Green Day and Oasis.
Green Day worked out. They all work out because nobody died during a fight. The Part 6 people died during a fight. They did not work out for them.
Oh, no, it didn't.
So what are you talking about?
Always saves the day. In fact, if you look at Mista's backstory, he sees these 3 thug dudes sexually assaulting a girl and he steps in to stop them despite having no weapons. The 3 of them all take out pistols and start firing at him. Despite the fact that they are all firing at him, all the bullets are missing as he nonchalantly walks up to one of them, grabs the gun out of his hand, reloads the gun, and then with 3 shots kills the 3 of them. This backstory of Mista's was revealed in the very beginning.
I've always thought that was stupid. Unless you just go, his stand was manufacturing. Not manufacturing. Manifesting. Manifesting itself, and they were being kicked away very slightly. But then he did the trial and then got a stand, but then he get whatever. But I've always thought that was stupid because it's like, why? Why is that happening?
Is he just so in tune with guns?
And why did all of his bullets go directly into his body after this point? Why did he never display that ability again? Was that luck? Was that fate? What was that? Yeah. And why did it not happen again when he was constantly shot? Wouldn't it have been better that if it was fate, 8 bullets were shot and then 8 bullets later went into him? And it's just like, well, that was those 8 bullets coming back to you.
Of the series, and I just thought it was JoJo's being JoJo's, you know, with the bombastic ass storytelling that makes you fall in love with it. And this definitely fit into JoJo's vibe that we so love, but also means so much more for not only Mista's character, but for the entirety of Part 5. In the final fights against Diavolo, the only characters highlighted heavily are firstly, obviously, Giorno, but secondly, definitely Mista. Again, this is not a Mista video, otherwise I would talk about his fight against White Album, which is my second favorite fight in the entirety of
How
Part
so?
5 after Doppio versus Risotto, which still gives me chill.
How so? Because if Trish did not push the arrow away from him with Spice Girl, they would have never gotten the arrow. That would have been a done deal. What did Mista do that changed anything?
He changed fate because of Rolling
The
Stone.
arrow was pushed out of his hand by one person. A person who had shown that stand. That's the second time Spice Girl has come out. And she got the arrow out of his hand. How is Mista more important? What did he do? He shot a couple times and did nothing really.
But the fact that Mista has this damning good luck, no matter how much harm befalls him, must mean he's fated to survive or something like that. So now...
No. It's just luck. Unless it is fate. And if it is fate, that means it's unchanging. So what is the crux of this story? You're not supposed to die here. Oh, okay. You're not supposed to hit me here. I'm not supposed to die here. Diavolo did this over and over, and he was punished forever. What is this story about?
What?
Because if sleeping slaves recontextualize everything and shows that fate can't be changed, then everything they did was inherent in fate. Everything Diavolo did was inherent in fate. And if that's the case, it just means the bad guy lost to the good guy. No themes.
No fate, nothing.
No overarching thing. Just a fight. And if it's just a fight, it's terrible.
Because fate is unchangeable, like you said. So this was just gonna happen.
Diavolo was fated to die at this point. So why is fate punishing him for all those times he should have died but didn't? When he wasn't fated to die in those moments. Is it just that fate don't give a and it just exists? There's no good or bad way to change fate. Because it can't be changed.
Exactly. Point blank period. Done deal.
So what's all this prerequisite that's needed to change fate if it can't be? What's up with Diavolo changing fate if he really can't?
Right way, wrong way, doesn't matter. No way.
There is no way. I'm not supposed to die here, so I don't die here.
I'm not supposed to get shot here, so I'm going to use my power to not get shot.
What's the issue?
Oh, here's a completely alternate interpretation to everything in Part 5 based on the Rolling Stones arc. Giorno cannot change fate. Diavolo cannot change fate. Yes, Diavolo can cut out a snippet of time and change the course of action he would take in that time while everyone else still remains the same, fated to their own future. But if they are fated to survive, they will live, and if they are fated to die, they will die. Rolling Stones, before all of this began, divined 3 deaths, and those 3 characters died, and none of the others did. There's a line said at the end of Golden Wind that really hit me, and that it's the duty of the survivors to pave the future for those that have died. I really like this line because even though it is paraphrasing, if someone's fated to die, you can't blame them for making wrong decisions up till that point, or can you? And the answer to that question is very simple. Of course you can. Even though someone's fate is literally set in stone, and no matter what they would have done and what the decisions they would have made, Bruno, Narancia, and Abacchio would have all been dead regardless. So there is no running from your fate. The only thing is what you do with the fate you were given. It's the duty of the ones that survive to make the most.
So what you do with the fate that you're given, Dia,
He was given his fate.
and he can't change it. He can't change the fact that he's defying fate, and that's wrong because he's fated to do so. So he's fated to be punished. So there's nothing that he can do about that. So he has no agency in the story. So I don't understand.
Most of what their friend's death can do for the future of the world. Giordano, to an extent at least, does realize this, and that's why he is such a powerful driving force for the entirety of the game. No matter where he's fated to end up, that's not gonna scare him away from doing what he wants to do. He's a 15-year-old kid.
That was the same thing with Mista. Once Anancha found his resolve, that's the same thing with Anancha. That's the same thing with Bruno. Once he set his mind to we're going to overthrow the boss, that's what he did. He went in to face the boss by himself. He had a walkie-talkie and he could have went, start coming down here. I'll hold him off. But he didn't. So how is this special when he's just fated to do this?
Who's living on his own, getting by. This dude wants to be a gang star. He wants to end the most powerful mafia in Italy, and he is going to continue putting one foot in front of the other until he gets to that finale, no matter what is in store for him. The gang until...
Pause. Kira's going to put one foot in front of the other in order to live his peaceful life, no matter what gets in front of him. Is that not the same?
Dio.
Dio, what are you? Everybody who stepped on that boat is gonna put themselves one foot in front of the other to change fate.
Dude.
They said the boss can skip through time. There's nothing we can do about it. And every one of them but that punk Fugo stepped on that boat one foot in front of the other.
Everybody keeps just putting these like grandiose words behind these actions. He's gonna put one foot in front of the other. Resolve all this nonsense. It's just a story and it's a bad one. Fate can't be changed. So all that loving y'all did, all that genius stuff y'all thought about, the right way to change fate, the wrong way to change fate, the prerequisite, the rules, it can't be changed. So now we're just looking at a story. Everything they're doing is worthless. So now we're just looking at the story of part 5, the characters of part 5, and the fights of part 5. And they're terrible.
Look at One Piece. Blackbeard comes up and goes, a man's dream can never be changed. His dream was to become the strongest, maybe get One Piece. We don't know exactly. How did he do it? He went down to Impel Down, gathered a bunch of crewmates who were just like, I want strong people. And he stole 2 devil fruits of the strongest nature. What did Luffy do? He goes from island to island going, I like you, join my crew. He has a relatively weak stand. I mean, not a weak stand, a weak devil fruit, but he trains it up to such a degree. He was not handed, here is the strongest devil fruit like Blackbeard was. So there are 2 parallels right there. As opposed to this, where it's just like, fate can be changed, and unless you do it the right way, unless you do it the wrong way. No, it can actually. Blackbeard in that one speech going, a man's dream can never be changed, and then going immediately, I'm going to start stealing fruits. That shows exactly what kind of character he is, and what the parallels between him and Luffy are. Fantastically.
What kind of character is Diavolo?
What is he? Power hungry. What else can we say about him? He's paranoid.
Meeting Giorno did not have this.
And another thing, Trish showed one of the. Why is nobody talking about Trish when she showed one of the most resolute moments in all of JoJo, where she just goes, "I am a weak person," in front of this unbeatable, notorious Big. That hand is Giorno's hand, and he can save
literally
Bruno,
everybody.
Nanacha, and himself. All I need to do is grab it. I can't grab it. I'm scared. I'm going to run away. And then she hits that button to push back the seat. And she goes, why did I do that? And she still, from that moment, went, I'm going to grab that hand. Unbeatable stand, just a girl. That thing can help us. I'm going to do it. And that's what unlocks Spice Girl.
See, that was a really good part of this part.
But nobody's talking about it.
Because it has nothing to do with fate or theme. Just like Beach Boy was an amazing fight. But it has nothing to do with fate or themes. Narancia is a good character because you see the way he changes. But it doesn't have to do with fate or themes. I don't understand why people don't look at Bruno as the main character. When, if you're talking about this part has to do with resolve, Bruno had almost no resolve to go against the boss. And you can see him throughout the series changing his resolve and building it until the end where he inspires Giorno. So Giorno inspired him to get resolve, and he inspired Giorno to stab himself. It's a perfect circle of them inspiring each other with their resolve. But nobody's talking about that because Geo big strong.
And it's worse when people are going, Geo's the main character, but then they go to part 7 and go, oh yeah, Gyro's the main character, not Johnny. So I don't understand why he is considered the main character, but not Bruno.
Because Johnny wasn't strong. He wasn't willing on the resolve of hot pants or anything.
But he grows.
Yep. Who cares? Did he make other people grow? You know why people aren't talking about that? Because part 7 is divisive. People really like it. People really dislike it. But they aren't trying to fit in a way to like it. They go, this is why I like it. Part 5, people are trying to fit in ways that this is good. The people that like part 7 aren't going, oh, it's good because the fate of struggle and theme of help. No. They're just going, this is good. Look at these fights. Look at these characters. I like Hot Pants. I like Gyro. I like Johnny. I like this fight.
That's a lot.
I like these fights. Oh, you know why I am on part 7? The thing that brings back what you threw away. So, Hot Pants is in a nun outfit, and then the brother, yeah, that's where I'm at. I'm in that fight. I've already seen what she did with her brother. Ooh.
I like Hot Pants. Despite that, I like Hot Pants.
But she immediately goes, I did an awful thing. I need to fix myself.
Let me know when you get to the end of that fight.
Mm-hmm. I'm probably gonna, because I gotta go to the bank. So I'm probably gonna go to the bank and read it there.
What is in store for him? The gang, until meeting Giorno, did not have this direction. That is what he added to the entirety of this little group. Bruno was trying to take a far more indirect approach at seizing power, and honestly, the way it was going, it was...
Pause! Is that not the right way? Going up through the ranks in a at least honorable way, as opposed to killing this dude?
Hey, it sounds like Giorno caused them to get a shortcut. Whereas Bruno's going the long way around. Giorno goes, nah, let's go through this alley.
My goodness.
Hashtag they don't take shortcuts.
All this time building up through the ranks. Shoot Popo, get his money. We're auto there. What? Why is that shortcut fine?
Never going to reach that absolute top level that he was hoping to. He wanted to change Passione from the inside, if at all possible. He didn't expect to completely destroy the structure, he did just want to be high level enough in the organization that he can make decisions that would benefit Italy as a whole.
That's fantastic!
Bruh, Bruno's amazing.
As opposed to him just going, I want to be the leader of everything to stop drugs. That's fantastic! I'm not so big-headed that I think that I can be the top of the top, but I want to change something. I want to change something in the way that I can. That's amazing. And then Gio just going, I want to be the ruler of everything.
Week later, done. Hit that check mark and yeah.
Little work behind the scenes to clean up the streets. Giorno did not want to do that. He wanted to end it, or to completely take it over. And it's because of his far more ballsy approach that they actually got somewhere. Being that
Bruno would have gotten somewhere, it just would have taken longer.
Exactly.
And Gio's approach wasn't ballsy because he had no plan.
Exactly.
Everything was done because of Bruno. Bruno went, we can go get this money now. We can move up. We can get a mission.
It was not a ballsy approach because he was scamming people in their taxi.
You know, it also wouldn't have been a ballsy approach if their mission wasn't Trish. Because they never would have went to go see the boss. If the boss was like, oh, I need you to deliver this package over here, they would have done that and they would have just been doing mission after mission after mission until maybe they could someday meet him. It would have been the exact same, except they got a lucky mission of protect my only daughter.
My goodness.
What are you talking about?
It was not a ballsy approach.
Shut up!
Scamming people in taxis.
Oh my God, stop ball sucking
He
Giorno!
was not knocking down the doors of Leaky Eye Luca going, I want your spot, and then Bruno, I want your spot.
I'm so tired of it.
This fell into his lap.
Bruno is the much better character, and everyone's going
In
Giorno.
every way.
I'm so tired of it.
Such a sucky stand. If you on paper go, this dude can make zippers. You go, ugh. And then this dude can make any non-living thing into anything, and he can also find life, and he can also hit people and imbue them with life, and he can also, if you hit something, the damage gets reflected back on you.
He can also heal people.
You go, oh my goodness. And that dude just got a plane? How is that fair? Imagine if Giorno just had the plane and he had to think away, but he's doing all this amazing stuff. I've always said, why doesn't he just throw a rock at somebody and turn that rock into an elephant as it's flying through the air? Why not? If he's making in brick snakes.
Everybody had a roughly limited stand. Jotaro is just, I'm really fast, I'm really strong, and I can see really well.
And he just gets Starfinger. That's really nothing.
Nothing.
He uses it like twice.
Josuke, I can heal other people. It's not going to be the same if I reconstruct you. And that's about it. Giorno, I can make life.
I am a life man.
Jolene, I can make my body into strings.
And that's it.
Johnny, for right now, I have finger waves.
And these
That
are
you see him training.
These are the main characters. It's not like Okuyasu got another hand and that would add the ability to swipe things away.
I never use my right hand.
No, he always had that one thing.
What?
Koichi's whole thing was growth because he was a weak character and he grew. Fine. Nanacha has an airplane. Mista has his bullets.
Giorno
You can
life.
You can one sentence these people. And when you can one sentence them, it's better.
Giorno would be a run-on sentence.
It's like 8 sentences.
It's a paragraph.
Because he can make things, but if you hit that thing, the damage reflects back.
Giorno's an essay.
Why doesn't he just cover himself in like beetles and just go, hit me. Try to hit me.
You know what would have been a great... see, this is why I really don't like part 5, because every part before and after had a drag down fight of the main character and the antagonist. I would have really liked if Giorno brought back his I'm gonna punch you and it's gonna make you so fast that you don't understand what's going on, and Diablo tries to erase the time, but those 10 seconds are when he's sped up, so he really didn't erase anything.
Yeah, or he erased like 0.5
yeah, something like that. I would have loved if they brought that back, but they didn't.
Them just going, look, I just need to get one hit on them. Do whatever you can to get me close to get me one hit. And you got Trish, Mista, and him trying to get close to him.
Would have been great.
But no. It was a chase after this dumb thing, and then this dumb soul orb, and then, I'm gonna stab myself.
I like Nux not bringing it up because he knows. Y'all know.
Absolutely.
And if he does bring it up, oh, I'm gonna laugh.
He can't.